Good morning everyone, it's Sunday 13th of November and I'm writing the intro for my knitting vlog. I've been recording for 2 weeks and now it's time to finish, round it up and share it with you. I hope you will enjoy it. I want to apologize for the buzzing noise in my videos. It's not my camera or microphone, it's the ventilators that work here. I have 2 of them and they work 24/7, just moving the air for the healthy environment for my orchids. And when I record there on my sofa, I don't go and turn them off if it's a 1-minute recording. If I do longer pieces like today, I turn them off. And I didn't know what to do. I did a bit of research and now I have an app that will reduce the background noises. In this video you will have the bits with the noise, but I hope it's the last video with that. Thanks for the patience, and if you see that something is not okay in my videos, please let me know. Otherwise I cannot change it. You know, you try to be very objective and self-critical when making, but still there are things you don't notice. For example, these ventilators, I don't hear them at all. It's like white noise for me because they've been in my life for many years, so it's the norm. I'm so used to them, I don't hear. So that is all about the technical part I wanted to talk. And now let's dive into the knitting. Today is Saturday, it's noon, and I want to show you what I have. I finished my second sock. This is the heel, and I finished that one. As you can see, I haven't woven the ends and they are all in there. So there's lots of work waiting for me. It's here. And I've also knitted a giant sock. If you are an old viewer, you know that I have a colleague who loves my socks, and every year he orders 2 pairs of socks. This time he wanted to get the brightest, craziest socks. First, I wanted to knit this color socks from the yarn I dyed, but I checked that I don't have enough white yarn so I could dye for him. And for myself, I dyed only like 10-20 gram balls. So that's not enough for him. And I can't get white yarn that I want for the socks, the one I used here. So he will have to wait for spring or later for New Year so I can make him that type of socks. And now I knitted, so you can, he's 46 and he wants wide, loose, slouchy, big socks. I like super tight. So look, this is the blocker and this is the extra fabric, and it's not washed. I have in my notebook how much stitches I have to cast on, so I get exactly the same size and slouchiness and looseness he likes. So that's okay, it's not too big. This time I made another type of heel. So you can see that here I added the stitches here, closer to the kind of middle. And I had these railway lines running down the increases. and here I increase the stitches towards the front part, closer to the front part. That's another type of heel. What I like about it is that it doesn't break the line of the stripes, as you can see. And then they start here, getting wider, and just naturally incorporates into the sock. And yesterday after work, I came home feeling I deserved to do nothing, just sit and knit. And I started knitting the second sock. So it will be neon yellow. And here, when I come to this part, it will have this green stripe. So there will be two different colored socks, but they will have the matching element, the last stripe and the gray color. Now I weaved in the ends for this sock and weighed, and it weighs 79 grams, okay, 80 grams. You know, I'm quite happy because it means I'm using lots of my sock yarn stash so I can get new yarn. And that excites me. Usually when I knit like socks with not matching stripes, I call them dummy socks. So he will get my dummy socks. I finished the heel, it's the same. And now I'm, where? So this is the heel. And now I'm on the first stripe here. So I have 1, 2, 3 stripes to do and one different color, and I'm done. But I think I'll put it away for a while. I want to do the puffy sleeve sweater to start, because next week we have TEDx in our town and we have to go there as part of our education or development. And instead of going to work, we will go and spend the whole day from 12 to 8 in TEDx, listening to different presenters. Need something for my hands, and I want to have a very simple project that I could knit and not think. So I'll go and find the yarn and read the pattern for the Lila blouse sweater to see if it includes some mindless knitting I could do in TEDx, not thinking about anything. If not, I will finish this sock during the weekend, today and tomorrow. And as he asked for 2 pairs, I will start knitting a new one. I've prepared the yarn and it will be helical knitting with bright pinks and oranges. And now I'll show you the yarn that I have for my Lila blouse sweater. I think I will use this yarn for my Lila blouse sweater. This is Rauma Plum, color 033. And the main yarn is Alpaca Srika, and color is 3062. 50 baby alpaca, 30 mulberry silk. I started knitting Lila blouse and now I'm unraveling everything, so I knitted maybe like this. And I decided to stop and show you why I'm doing this. As you know, this is my favorite mohair, but I don't know, either this batch or this color is super hairy. And I love it because it's not that hairy. And in this color, the mohair fibers go in like blobs or clusters, and it makes very big stitches from time to time. as you can see here. It's here on the camera. Somehow it looks way much better than in reality. Or here, right here, and here. Can you see? And I went and checked my yarn stash, and unfortunately I don't have any more more here I could pair with thin yarn. So tomorrow after work I'll quickly go to the yarn store and we'll try to find. Good morning, it's Monday morning, and though I talked to you on Sunday evening, and I still have something to show you. I have 1 hour left before I go to work, and I want to record how to make the cover for the box, and I want to show you what I was doing yesterday in the evening. As you know, I have to knit 2 pairs for my colleague. I knitted 1 pair, like the different colors. Now I washed it yesterday, it's drying. And then I started looking what kind of socks I could knit for him. He wanted to be them as crazy as possible, as bright as possible. And I thought they look very, very, loose and like opened up. I thought if I take, but he wants thick ones, so I have to hold 2 strands together. I thought if I hold this yarn, he said it could be princess style, whatever, the crazier the better. So I thought if I do this and 2 strands of this, 2 strands of opal, and I do helical knitting, I think it could be really nice. However, I was looking where the color pattern stops and it starts repeating itself, and I couldn't find. That's why they are so loose and falling apart, because I was looking for the color pattern to stop and start repeating. Then I said I couldn't find, and then I looked at my socks that I have from this yarn, and I checked that on 2 socks the pattern repeat is like it's 1 pattern repeat, and still the pattern doesn't repeat itself even after I knitted 2 socks. So that's a very long like color pattern. I thought I would look at this. These are new balls. By the way, this is Lang Millecolori. I started wearing those socks not long ago. This is just darker and this is lighter. And I have to say it's really good yarn. It's like not spun, this 1-ply sock yarn, but I really like it. To give you an honest opinion, I'll wear it for a couple of months and do many washings, and then I will say how the yarn behaves. So I thought maybe here I will be so lucky that the pattern, I can find pattern repeat. Like maybe it's identical ball starting nearly with the same color, or just I could find it really quickly. And I couldn't find. That's why they are so as well, like loose and wobbly. Then I went to my sock stash, and I have a separate box with yarn that is thicker, much thicker than 420 meters in 100 grams. And I found this ball. It's bright, it's nice, but it's not as crazy and bright as I think he imagined. But I don't have anything else that could suit him, and I don't want to buy new yarn because I have so much of sock yarn that I want to knit it up so I could start buying new one. And I also thought I could dye for him dye the yarn as I did for my candy floss socks, but I don't have enough white sock yarn that I want to use, and I can't order here in Norway. I have to order it in Lithuania, but at the moment it's all sold out, so I can't also do that. So I decided, okay, do what you can with what you have. So I started knitting this sock. I cast on the same amount of stitches, it's 60 stitches, and with double strand, those big ones, gray and neon stripes, was also 60. This is a bit thinner yarn. It's Viking Aurora, 75 superwash, 25 nylon, 6 ply yarn. It's 150 grams and it has 375 meters. I couldn't knit anything. I couldn't start my Lila blouse sweater because I need a strand of mohair to go and buy today after work. And I knitted a little sample, a little swatch for my animal print sweater, and it was drying. So I started knitting the sock. I cast on 60 stitches, did 2x2 ribbing, right? And then I decided to make this type of heel. So I left like a railway going here, a railway going there, and I changed and I knitted up to the blue. Here I knitted just stockinette, and here I left this running along the sock. And then I started making decreases every other round. And I think I made all the increases. I made all the increases, and now I will have to shape the sole to start decreasing. I increased, if you cast on 60 stitches, you have to make 13 decreases on each side, so it's 26 decreases. So there were 2 purl stitches already existing. So now I have here 28 stitches. And I don't want to knit more because I want to have this sock as my project for the TEDx that we are going to attend on Friday. So I'll be sitting there all day from 12 till 8 or 7:30. So I hope I will have enough time to sit, enjoy TEDx and the speakers, and do a lot of knitting. I think I'll grab 2 projects, so if I get tired or bored, I could easily switch. Unfortunately, this didn't work, but the colors are. And for example, this color, I couldn't find it here in the ball. I was looking for that color, and I think it's only there at the very, very end. So it means they will be socks for someone else who likes thinner ones. Okay, so much for Monday. For Monday morning, I'm going to record the cover for the box.
For 5 år siden så var vi en gjeng med 17 år gamle gutter som drømte å kunne leve av det å gjennomføre kreative prosjekter. Så vi ville bli liksom størst og best som artister og fotografer. Okay.
I'm recording after a couple of days. So you can see I bought new mohair and I found exactly the same shade. And it looks really, really nice. The color now on the camera it's more like that. Wow. And I want to show you the neckline. My neckline is like this big. It's because the sleeve is more than 20 centimeters here. You can see there are some decreases here for the sleeve. And now this part will be folded into pleats. Like this. And I finished making increases, and now I should separate the sleeves and the body. But as I can't see if that's enough, and I don't know how deep or big the neckline is, and I can't try it on, I can't really can't be sure of if that's enough. Usually, like, this is 19 centimeters, and for me it's not enough. I need at least 22. But if the neckline is deep, so then it's enough. So now I'll read about the ribbing, neckline ribbing, how to make the pleats, and how to pick up the stitches. The pattern itself, it's a paid pattern, and it has many mistakes. Some parts are not translated into English, though I bought an English pattern. They are maybe in German or I don't know. Some parts have mistakes and in the increased lines. Well, I had to go and look, and the mistakes are on not translated parts are in this section where you have to make special decreases and you have to know what to do, because that's the most complicated part in this sweater and it has mistakes. That shouldn't be so. Okay, now I'm going to take, I guess, smaller needles and to work on the neckline. I want to show you something. This is my puffed sleeve sweater. This is my second attempt. It kind of looks good, right? Now, why is it the second? When I knitted, at first I knitted where I have to divide for the sleeves, and I separated the sleeves and knitted a bit more so I could try it on. And this decrease section that all the puff is gathered was here, and it didn't look like the puff. Second, when I did already like join front and the body, my sweater was this big, and I'm knitting size S. It was 64 or 5 centimeters. It has to have some positive ease, but not that. It was like very big. I decided still to follow the pattern. I measured where I want my decreases here to start with a marker. I unraveled up to there and decided to play with the width by increasing not every other round, like this is normal raglan sweater, but every third round. Now I knitted it up to this. I picked the neckline once, just the way the pattern says, and it was very tight. I unraveled it, made it the way I want. Now it's not tight. I like how deep the neckline is. It's not too deep, it's not too tight, so that's okay. This is my second attempt. Now look. So I just put you to show kind of it, okay. Now look, if I put it like this, there are no folds, the raglan line goes on the arm. Can you see? It should go here, straight into the armpit. So you can see this is the extra fabric. The same, can you see? This is my arm. It's going on the arm and it has to go here. This is the extra, and you can see the folds, a bit of puckering. It means it's too many stitches here. And this sweater, even if it's oversized, like oversized raglan, it can't have too many stitches here. From the bust only, then you add. So if I leave like this, so it will be like, I will wear it like this. Then I decided to look at the pattern the way I look at the patterns, at my patterns that I never published. Remember that I had this emerald green and then going into the blue color sweater? It was also one strand of silk mohair, alpaca silk, and one strand of mohair. So for the neckline, like for the circumference, you have to, I cast it on 58 stitches, 58. Then I looked at Petite Knit patterns, and one of it says cast on, it also is like one thin yarn, like 200 meters, and a mohair strand for size XL, 126. This says for the same combination of yarn, size S, 179 stitches. I casted 58. Okay, it's narrower here, but still it's like, it's not, it wasn't tight. 179. 59, 179. Petite Knit, 126 for XL. So imagine, so it's for, it would be like 118 stitches for size S, 118, 179. At first I thought, okay, I will trust the pattern because I don't know how to make, how many stitches are extra for the folds. But now I see it's this much. The same, of course, goes to the back. Okay, I said, I'll give it the last try. I will try to keep to the original pattern as much as possible. I liked this neckline. I put my finger here and counted the extra stitches here. So 5 and 5. So I took away 10 stitches from here, took away 10 stitches from here. Instead of making increases every other round, I'm making increases every third round. So I don't build more fabric. And now I've come to this part. I finished the decreases. I'm leaving these sleeves like that. And now, because here it's all the folds are open, so now the neckline is super wide, I have to make the folds, to secure them with the needles, like sewing needle, just to make it hold together all 3 layers, and then to pick up the stitches and knit the neckline. And after doing this, I can put it on and see if it's better than this. I wanted to leave this as an example so I could compare how big or how loose my fabric is. Good morning. Look, I have reknitted the top, and as you can see now, I cast less stitches, 20 stitches less, so my neckline is a bit closer to the neck, but my raglan lines go nicely here. My sleeves are not too wide and my body is not too wide. I think I have corrected it as much as I could. And the puffs are just opening on the shoulder angle. Okay, now I will knit down. To sum up the video, I have things I want to show you. First, these beautiful socks are blocked. They were finished. Now they are blocked. I haven't put them on yet. I have to put on and make photos. Then the second pair of socks for my colleague was finished last week, a week ago. They were sitting here because I wanted first to show you, to show them on the video, and then they can go to my colleague. These are big ones, 45 loose size, and these are .45, a bit tighter. They both are knitted on 60 stitches. They are a bit shorter, just a little bit, and a little bit wider. But when you look like this, the difference is so big. In TEDx, I took only a pair of socks to knit. So I finished one sock and started another sock in TEDx. So that's about the socks. Another thing I want to show you is the cover for the box. I'm making a little tutorial on how to make a cover for the box, and I filmed the video of the beginning, how to start knitting it. And I did the bottom, the one wall, the inside of the box, and I washed it. Now I have to make decreases, and this part I also have to film on the video. So that's very little left, in fact, only the decreases. The yarn I'm using is Alpaca Silke and Rauma Plum, the one that I didn't like for my Lila Blau sweater. And these are leftovers from I don't know what. I'm using Moss Stitch. Very basic. And that's very beautiful. And the third project is the Lila Blau sweater, or Lila sweater. I will put the proper name for you. So I have the body finished. I have one sleeve finished, and I have nearly the second sleeve finished. What I have to do is count how many rows are on this sleeve up to the ribbing and make sure I have the same amount of rows on this. I will put it on for you so you could see, and then we will talk about it in greater detail. Okay, here is my Lila Blau sweater. I haven't washed it because I'm still working on it, right? So what I think that, so it's not very smooth because I've been unraveling and re-knitting it 3 times. And even I tried to make it my size. I think I've done a bit too long raglan line. It would sit much better if I stopped a couple of centimeters above. I made this, is it bracelet length? It will grow a bit, but I don't want it to be super long. So these are the sleeves that I really enjoy. Now let's talk about the pattern itself. I reknitted it 3 times because the amount of stitches I found too big, and now before recording I went to the pattern and checked how many stitches I should get following the pattern for size S. And for example, the body, the front should have like 94 stitches and I use only 80. It says it should have 4 to 8 centimeters positive ease. It's definitely more than that. You can see it's 6-7 centimeters on each side, and I'm still using 14 stitches less. For the sleeve, I'm knitting the whole sleeve on 50 stitches, and here at the end I decreased 4 more, so 46, 50. And it's not tight, you can see it's, look, there's so much extra fabric. And the pattern says that I should knit the sleeve down on 63, so plus 13 stitches. And still you can see this, because at the beginning there were too many stitches, so it's very difficult to fix it, to make it sit without any folds, and to have the raglan line going like kind of anatomically where it should go, where the body and the arm meets, right? Can I recommend the pattern? Well, I can't say no. I can recommend it if you want to have that type of sleeve, if you are ready to reknit it several times, and most important, if you know how to count the stitches and how to make alterations and changes in the pattern. For me, to be honest, though I like the final result and I took notes, so if I need to repeat, I can easily do that. Now, it was one of the most disappointing projects because the pattern wasn't exact. Second, and I expected to have a knit when I can switch off my head and just follow the pattern. Second, the pattern had mistakes, not one but several, and they were different. So for example, when they're making increases on raglan lines, they were that you have to make increases 2 rows, row after row, and then breaks the pattern of like big stitch and small stitch. You know, when you make increases every other round, you get 1 big stitch and 1 small stitch if you have 1 stitch only for raglan lines. And then there were mistakes in the pattern when you have to make all these manipulations with that shoulder. Of course, you have to understand everything really well because the pattern is stockinette, so there's no place to make a mistake. But here you have to understand, and some lines, some rows were written in English, some were in most probably German, I don't know. And that really annoyed, and I had to go back to Instagram to like find this hashtag and look for the photos and to zoom in to see what was happening to understand how to knit it. So that that was annoying. Second and third, the pattern is a text of abbreviated words, and each abbreviation means something. You can't change any letter in the abbreviation because it completely changes the meaning. And in this pattern, these abbreviations were changed. In some rows, she used one type of abbreviation to mean the same thing. And then when you go down 2-3 rounds, you get another type of abbreviations that mean exactly the same. So that also like, what's wrong? Then I would go back to the front page where the list of abbreviations is, and then I would not find that type of abbreviation there. And then I would have to go to like think, well, logically, if it was the row above, maybe it should be the same. Then that caused confusion. So if you are ready to face all these challenges, then you can go for it. Of course, I will leave the link in the description below. And you can see I'm sitting. So imagine, and I reduced so many stitches and still the folds are appearing. So when I wash it and block, I will drag it a bit, like make it a bit longer so it doesn't grow wider a centimeter more, because it's already too wide here. So that's why I made it a tiny bit shorter, so when I stretch it, it's still the right length for me to wear. And I was planning to knit the animal like leopard print sweater, but as I got so upset, I don't remember when I was so upset while knitting, like irritated and annoyed, and like, you can't sell that type of pattern and get money for it. Even when you see 3 patterns, you don't find that many mistakes in them, like, So it's not about those 5 or 6 or 7 euros that I spent on the pattern, but it's simply not fair. Don't sell it, or just give it for free, or correct the mistakes. It's only several pages, so to read them carefully to make sure everything is like correct is not so difficult. And though I was planning to knit the animal print sweater, it somehow got poisoned with my negativity, and it like has this like negative aura now in my head, and I have to wait. So I will leave it for a while, and for the next week, and maybe one more, I'll be knitting many tiny things. I have to knit Sophie's scarf for my friend and send it to London. I have to knit a pair of socks for my colleague and give it as a present for her infinite kindness. I bought 2 mitten patterns that one has a new type of thumb knitting that I don't know how to, and that's why I bought it. It's from a Russian designer, Russian speaking. The patterns are not in English, so I guess you cannot buy if you don't understand Russian. Anyway, when I start making them, I'll put the links. And another type of mitten is with using boucle yarn, with little like curls, and they're super puffy and thick, and they look really wintry, Christmassy and cozy, and I want to try those. And what else? And I saw a sweater on Instagram. I saw it when it still was on the testing phase, and it's the drawing sweater by Shima. It's a Japanese designer. I don't remember her name exactly. And now it's published. It's a color work pattern and it has big flowers on the yoke. I'm not very good at color work, and there seems you get very big floats. But I like how modern it looks, and it doesn't have the usual motifs that you can find in most of the color work, just zigzags, diamond shape, leaf motifs. It's, for me, I find it really modern and stylish. Anyway, I have to go and check if I have the right yarn. Test knitters use different colors for the flowers, but I liked white flowers or light gray flowers most. So I'll see what I have. But now, but at first I will knit small garments. It's because I need instant satisfaction after this. Can you see? Can you see? So you see, I need instant satisfaction, lots of satisfaction, lots of instant satisfaction to compensate my disappointment. So much for now, for today. By the way, do you find this surrounding better? I think it looks so much better, though it doesn't look like I'm talking about knitting. It's the gardener's corner. Have to round up. Wish you all the best. Let's keep knitting, and I'm going orchid hunting very quickly. Check my flower shop, and I bought 500 crocuses I have to plant in my garden, and I have to water all these flowers today. And I hope I will have time to finish with this one. So much for today. I hope you enjoyed it. Wish you all the best and see you very soon. Bye.